Yeah, we can hear you.
My name is Allie Neal, and I'm a political communication major. And my question is, as far as civility goes, what sort of advice can y'all offer for those of us who have not gone, obviously, into politics yet, but definitely want to make sure that we maintain that?
You're interested in going in politics?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'd say run.
Okay.
You know, a smile like yours will get you a long way.
Oh, thank you.
You know, with all of the problems with politics, it's still the greatest game, and we all complain about it, and it's worse now than it ever was. But you ask the elected officials here, and I know John agrees, that there's nothing as satisfying as public service. You have the ability to do more for more people and make more of a difference than any other thing you can do in life, I think. And I was in elected public office for 32 years and enjoyed every year, not every day, but every year.
Not every hour.
So I would encourage you to run, and don't be afraid to lose. First of all, don't be afraid to lose, and never run when you cannot afford to lose. But other than that, go for it.
I think that Bennett gives you good advice. I remember when I ran for Congress the first time, which is the first thing I'd ever run for, other than a school election. I was 27 when I ran for Congress, and my slogan was, "Experience makes the difference." You got to have a lot of brass to be able to say that when you're 27 years old. But and everybody I was running against was old enough to be my father or my grandfather, and they just drove them crazy that this 27-year-old was running around on my bumper sticker, "Experience makes the difference." And, what do you mean? But I was really the only one that ever worked in a congressional office and ever worked in Washington, and I was the only lawyer that was running. So I said, you know, we're trying to elect a member of Congress to go to Washington to make laws, and I'm the only lawyer running, therefore you ought to vote for me. Kind of made sense for a while. Everybody, oh, you know, that makes sense. And then one of my opponents figured out right before the election that 98% of the district were not lawyers, and 100% of them hated lawyers. And so the opponent went around starting to say, he said, you know, that's the damn problem with Washington. They got too many lawyers up there. We don't need to send another one up there. I started going down like the Titanic, but we pulled it out in the end. I would think the advice that I would have to get started would be to work for someone who's running. Work in someone else's campaign, whether they win or lose. If they win, you know what to do, what they did right. If you lose, you know the mistakes they made. And so I really think getting involved, whether it's for the mayor of Baton Rouge, who will take your help readily, Skip, or anybody, I mean, whether it's the smallest office available, get involved at the very basics of helping someone else in a campaign. I think you'll find it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of great people, and you learn a lot about life, because it's about winning and losing and how to handle that. And I think if you help somebody else, then you are prepared to one day run your own campaign, and you know what mistakes not to make and what to do right. Good luck.
Do you see any chance of it changing in the near future, or in the future, in the far future?
Where is it coming from? I missed it.
It's Doug Manchip.
Oh, wait.
It's Doug Manchip, John.
Oh, my God. That's probably the nicest question
I'm
Doug
retired.
ever asked me. He used to ask me all these great questions in Washington when he was on the paper up there, and then in Lafayette at UL when he ran the paper down there. I don't know. Do I think it would ever change? I think that, you know, the way it changes is because of people like you. I mean, the public has the capacity to throw people out that don't do a good job. That's a wonderful thing about a democracy. Every 24 months you get to have a review on your member of Congress. And if he's making a fool out of himself in public, well, you have the right to say, we don't want you there anymore. And if people don't get excited about these people, and you know, I always say, quit complaining. I mean, I've had people that used to complain all the time, I found out were not even registered to vote. But they were the biggest complainers you ever heard of. I mean, how many people have you heard complain about, and you know what, about the system all the time, but they've never given a nickel to a candidate? They've never put a bumper sticker on their car. or they certainly never run for public office themselves, but they're always complaining about who happens to be there at that time. And so it can only be corrected when those people who complain all the time become involved. And that's almost a cliche to say that, but there ain't no other way to solve it. I mean, the bad person is going to be there as long as good people don't vote them out. And that's the real challenge.
Hi.
How's that, Doug?
Oh, sorry.